what True Rippers wants to do in game 2.
Yeah, you can see the idea there. It's just with Uranus games, it's always really good or really bad because your EXP laner doesn't have strong crowd control, but the rest of them do. So the crowd control is there somewhat.
To an extent, yes, you have some crowd control with the Moskov, but crowd control last time they're easily able to get dived on. It's looking very similar.
All right, well, game 2, will it spell another sub 10-minute win for Team Vitality, or will True Rippers be able to even up the series? Let's send it over to Naisu and Brigitte for game 2.
True Rippers cannot let this end sub 10, and they have to find a way back into the series in order for us to get into a game number 3. But Team Vitality, they just came into this with a Selena mid, very similar to what we've been seeing from their women's division, but also a Belric XP lane.
Belric XP, man. I mean, we've been seeing so much of Belric the past few weeks that, you know, it's like, oh yeah, he's gonna go with XP. There's an arrow landing, Moreno. Okay, Asuna at least holding on to that flicker. Nice little stun with the projectile. Has that damage on Finn too, but will be okay. This is one thing I have to say though too. Yeah, Belric and XP, he's running the Revitalize, and so just as the panel mentioned, you know, over in the studio, they said they like to fight. Indonesia loves to fight, and now they can extend them even further. An arrow's gonna land, you're thrown in the air, you have nowhere to go. First blood in the hands of the Maestro.
Yep, the Belric and the XP lane, I think we are yet to see a successful game from. But the Selena has been very 50-50. We all know for a fact that it has been. In this scenario, though, it's been one of the more successful Selena games as she gets 2 consecutive kills in a row.
Brigitte, they said it. You know, this is an ego pick. The fact that Selena was brought up that early in the draft and now you've gotten yourselves 2 kills, you know exactly why it was picked up that early in the draft. So this is a problem that True Ripper is going to have to deal with now for the rest of the game.
Yeah, because you have to worry about you being spotted out and you having to evade all these abyssal arrows that have so far always been connecting towards the right targets for Moreno. So it's really becoming a statement right here. The ego pick is working wonders for them, if ever it is, because the rotations have been completely disrupted for True Rippers. You don't even see them confidently take control nor show up in the river. Just look at how Shogun is holding down all these bushes and making sure that they keep every single member of True Rippers in check.
Let's see what happens here again. Playing on this map too. Dangerous grass, extra bushes to work with. They're going to force out the rest of the members of True Rippers here for this fight. Mountain Shock are going to be used too. They're going to come in for lockdown, and SOD already thrown out. Good kill on Nile. This is what True Rippers need to be able to go ahead and secure themselves an objective. They have all the room to work with right now as ES will secure the turtle. Fight's going to break out. There's the gush. And True Rippers, they've awoken in game 2.
One of the tankiest members extending that fight, actually leading to an advantage for True Rippers right there. I don't think Nile nor the rest of Team Vitality had enough damage to just take down this Uranus, this Rehansha who's been just standing in the way for so long. Even Kimmy just baiting out some of their attention and taking in majority of the damage too, eventually allowing them to get access to Nile. So this is maybe one of the potential workarounds for this draft, is just really sustaining everything as much as you can, because mostly the damage is gonna come, yes, from Moreno. Like the burst damage, in terms of burst, it's really just gonna come from Moreno at this point in Nile. But as long as you get to tank everything, then maybe there could be a way around this for True Rippers.
Yeah, that way is their tanky front line. Vision used. There's a whole wombo combo for Finn. Another kill picked up here for True Rippers.
True Rippers are starting to be a lot more active than you expected them to be. A really great setup on that Fatal Links, as you've seen, but Rehansha too, the way that he's been moving around, I think it's really big help.
SOD, again, Suna with a pickup kill. Next one, looking for more in the mid lane, arrow thrown out. Finn joining the fight, has a flicker, but doesn't want to risk it, so they just disengage for now. Vitality now in this position where they're second guessing some of these engages against True Rippers, and that's exactly where they want to find themselves currently, because it's just, you don't want to give too much over, right? This Gourd, we've seen it before. There's a reason why the Gourd has really picked up in the meta. You get a couple kills going on him. That Mystic Gush is a great zoning tool, but it's also obviously a big damage tool. And that's something they have to watch out for, because not only are you working around Abyssal Arrows for Vitality, you know, the potential for a pickoff with a kick from the Cho, but even True Rippers, this composition has its strengths, and one of them is that amount of synergy that comes with the ultimates plus that Gush.
Which is really interesting, because it seems like True Rippers are the ones who are going for the more brawly plays and team fights from this point onwards, but they're setting up for this objective. Shogun finally going to be part of this team fight. We haven't seen the Belric just yet. Oh, but Finn misses that flicker!
Yep, not the setup they're looking for. Down into the Rapid Triad to be able to pick up one. Shogun gone. Emon under the Zaman Force. They're still going to be firing off, but if Finn falls again here too. True Rippers fighting Vitality, and Emon trying to get away, but will not be able to escape Ransha. True Rippers, they found their footing.
If you want to fight brawls, if you want to go all out on team fights, then True Rippers are doing exactly just that. They're playing around here, they're playing around Asuna. And even if you wanted, or we wanted to point out the fact that maybe this wouldn't be, oh, hold on, yes.
Yaz is going to be able to survive just 1 HP.
Yeah. He cannot go down like that. Just as True Rippers were already getting the advantage. But going back, this seems to be a very straightforward approach for True Rippers, but it's working out for them really, really well. I guess we're starting to feel the demands of hope.
Oh, he's going to go for the kill too. Went in for the kick. Yes, able to get enough health back. And Finn is the one to get punished. A misstep there from Finn.
Yep, so maybe we are starting to feel the demands of how skill shot based or how mechanically dependent these compositions are for the Team Vitality. You really have to layer them out really well. It has to follow a certain sequence, whereas True Rippers can just be in your face. They could just create space, and they could just allow their damage dealer to do their thing. Team Vitality seems to be a bit more precise in terms of the team fight approach.
Oh, Emon. He tries to get away, pop the Purify too. An engagement in the mid lane. Zaman Force already top down. There's the Gush on Finn, trying to escape. An SOD thrown out as well. The Revitalize though helps the fight as they fight back, but Shogun goes down. A arrow thrown out, and now Finn looking for more. They re-engage once more. Niall not able to capitalize on a kill unless he can go back into this fight. He looks for the moment. He goes in under the turret, able to pick up a double kill for Niall. Looking for potentially more. And again, he has the Sky Piercer, so that's 2 stacks.
And they've somewhat turned things around here for Team Vitality, at least for now. They're already able to lessen the lead, but Niall is still being chased by Rehansha here. Okay, we'll get the objective, but Rehansha.
Rehansha, can he escape? Yep. He's going to be fine again. This Uranus is very strong, and he's had a solid game so far. Again, 3-0-4. He is the bulwark for the team currently, but Vitality shows some fight in them. You know, off of that exchange in the mid lane, plus an objective, they slowly make a baby step in the right direction, but still, True Rippers up amidst it all. Nice little Rapid Triad there, used up. Garcia will be able to survive, though. Good thing for some backup. Up on the other side of the map, they're going to be going once again on Ians. He falls. Top turret. Kimmy could be next. Okay. He gets taunted with Shogun. He tries to get away. Probably conceal, but Emon won't let it happen as he takes down Kimmy.
So much happening all over the map. I might want to take a look at the items right now. I am really eager to see what builds have they been picking up, especially for Cho and Balearic, and it seems like they're just going for tank. Yeah. But despite that, you can really feel how much pressure they're actually able to put onto the opponents, how much they're able to actually maybe get out of True Rippers, but I would want to see more, especially from Finn. Maybe a more accurate way of the dragon and targeting from Team Vitality, and that, even if it wasn't a kick, was a really good one.
Would you call that accurate? I mean, he got the flicker out, right?
He somehow got the flicker out, and I think that's a win for Team Vitality.
That's one of those things, though, with a Cho, you know, across them, you don't know sometimes if they're going to full commit to it or not. Sometimes you're like, hey, it's better a flicker than a death, you know? So that is burned from Asuna, but still, nonetheless, still alive and still in charge, at least for now. Barely for True Rippers. Again, they got a turret up ahead of Vitality, plus a little bit of a goal to work with, but this Lord coming up in 10 seconds will tell us a whole lot of where this game is going.
And by the way, it has always been here in mid. Majority of the action has been here in mid. I feel like Team Vitality, for one, because of how frequent the fights have been happening in mid, Vitality have somewhat taken advantage of that. They've been doing things on other parts of the map, which has really lessened the lead, but Kimmy...
There's a kick right on the mark. They're going to take out Kimmy after the Fatal Links is used, but he's gone. SOD thrown out, now in the disengage for Vitality, so they're going to take advantage of it. True Rippers will take down the tier 1 in mid, even down a member. Now they're going to potentially get set up around this Lord pit here.
Okay, so True Rippers, despite what we were pointing out, just really wanted that tier 1 in mid perhaps, but Finn, does he find another one?
Oh, Finn wants to go. Jikundo, Salmon Force drop down. They're going to force the fight once again in the mid as Ians is taken out. And now next, the taunt comes through as Rehansha falls. And now with multiple down for True Rippers, Lord for the taking here for Team Vitality.
It was just sheer damage, sheer aggression from Team Vitality to equalize this scenario in this game. Shogun might just get caught here with the Fatal Links though. But the damage is not enough.
The damage is not enough. The Revitalize is all you need. Kimmy trying to get away, but a missile arrow will land, and it's a double for Niall again. Stacks on stacks for this Hernara.
And they will take that tier 1 away from True Rippers just the same. Now the lead, which was in the hands of True Rippers for the longest time, is now over to Vitality, and they also have a Lord. It's been 10 minutes of somewhat team fights happening in mid-skirmishes and scrambles happening here and there, but now it's Vitality who somewhat still have the better grasp of the macro and are now pushing True Rippers to defend for now.
It seems so quick for the momentum to shift over in favor of Team Vitality. off of a lot of forced fights or, you know, these skirmishes happening in the mid lane. You can see the stacks here too. For Nile, it's got that 44 on the Sky Piercer, and, you know, that's deadly to deal with because the way that we've seen the hero played is just kind of in and out. You know, you're utilizing the iframes that you have that good amount of damage. You can kind of weave in and out of fights, and now that you have multiple stacks in this way, you're a big threat to the rest of True Rippers.
Yeah, at least for True Rippers, they have decent wave clear. They were also able to at least take control of the top lane so they don't feel as much pressure in terms of the sync up waves crashing. But there goes a Mountain Shocker. They have an idea of where Team Vitality currently are, but they're not going to focus on a fight just yet. But there are flickers in Team Vitality's hands, so they might have to watch out for that.
Again, a play could be made here by Finn. A BOD was just picked up by Nile as well. Finn, right there in the mid. Not sure if he's going to commit to it. Doesn't just yet. Again, Kimmy waiting for that flicker to be available so that he could potentially set something up. I'd love to see this all this time that Garcia has had to go ahead and farm up on the Moskov to go ahead and turn the tide with a great SOD or, you know, some initiation from the fight from True Rippers, because they've got that potential. They just got to go ahead and get the upper hand. Let's take a quick look at the items here.
Yep. They already have the damage. That's the Trinity already built in here for Garcia, and he also has just locked in the Rose Gold Meteor. So even if he, let's say, unfortunately gets to take that Abyssal Arrow, he could probably survive an additional hit or two. But that's the thing. True Rippers, I like how they're being very careful about this. They didn't want to force a fight, especially without Garcia in range. But the Wrath of Dryad.
Wrath of Dryad used. Kimmy can't get away, and there's the setup they were looking for, right on target. As Asuna is gone, 2 down for True Rippers. And it was these arrows, once again, from Moreno that just brought Kimmy low enough for them to collapse down. Just like they'll collapse on the tier 2 turret. There's a push up top from Garcia. The base turret and mid's going to be worked on here. Minions will be cleared out. Lord is coming up. Team Vitality will make their way.
They're pretty much left with no choice. I like how they're at least getting trades, though. This is different from game number 1. Garcia goes back in, though.
And Garcia joins after that, throwing that SOD.
Yeah.
True Rippers will be able to go ahead and hold up on this front side. It looks like they want to go ahead and at least stall out Team Vitality. The rest of the team is up here. Could they potentially take this Lord? They got to dance around these Abyssal Arrows. Nile join the fight now, too. They're going to be going, looking for a potential fight already for the Lord. Everything already thrown out. Moreno's gone. Lord secured, though, by Nile. The fight still breaking out. Finn finally goes down. True Rippers trying to win the fight here. They might have lost the Lord, but they can take more with them. They're going to go for Shogun. They get the stun. It's a double for Garcia.
And that's when Finn couldn't even land the stuns. Wasn't even able to just kick Ian's out of the way. It matters at this point. At least they're not able to hand over the complete advantage to True Rippers, but nonetheless, True Rippers were actually able to somewhat balance out that fight. It's not a huge loss despite them not getting the objective.
It was really good usage of the tools they had at hand. True Rippers, I mean, Ian's as well, being able to avoid what Finn was trying to do. You know, those little micro decisions around the Lord, staying alive, being able to get being able to stay alive, even if they lost the Lord, it's still potentially to turn it on because the key members stayed alive here. Garcia being one of them, and it's so important. Again, his spacing, his positioning on the Moskov. He's done a phenomenal job, not dying, utilizing his Purify when he needs to. But now you got to be the guy to also turn these fights in your favor. And there's a whole lot they can do off the Fatal Links. The Conceal's going to be used, scouting out a potential target. They won't find it just yet, though.
Yeah, and even the entries through the SOD, I think, have been really great for Garcia. It's not like he just goes in and puts himself in a very dangerous position. It's more calculated timing that you're actually seeing from him. Let's take a look at the gold distribution so far, and even in terms of scaling, I think he's been doing great, matching Eman in the gold lane. And the last time we checked, he was actually ahead in terms of gold, so it's really great. But that's a Purify.
Yep, Purify used. They're going to go for the re-engage here. They're going to disengage for now. An arrow's going to be able to land. They're going to force it anyway. A Fatal Links into the Mystic Gutch. Moreno off the off angle. Going to be looking for more. Immortality going to be popped from Kimmy. A projectile thrown out, but it's a double for Nile. They're able to go ahead and pick up 2, expending a lot of battle spells. And SOD just thrown out. Not going to connect though.
Oh, iframes. The iframes. Ian's going to find the kill.
Finn on the hunt. He goes in with a flicker. There's the kick they're looking for, right into the hands of Nile. Another kill picked up. Team Vitality, what more can they take at this point?
3 members taken down, and they also took that orange buff. To answer your question, because they already had information, Ian was all alone. They could go for the chase, and Hirara is just one of the best heroes to rely on in terms of that and outputting the necessary damage. They're waiting for this. Are we actually going to wait for an entire minute, though? Because the Evolved Lord will take an entire minute. It seems like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Lord secured. Now, at this point, again, it's... Brady, they're in that situation, right? Backs against the wall. So I don't want to count them out, though.
Yep.
Even with that Lord secured, Team Vitality will have to kind of take their time going into this fight because of the nature of the composition. A lot of times, like I said, they're playing around the arrows. They're sort of also waiting to see what Kimmy decides to do. with that Fatal Links, because they have to avoid that combo, that wombo combo we've been seeing so much of. Fatal Links, Mystic Gush, and keeping tabs on Garcia. So with this Lord approaching the base, let's see how True Rippers want to defend against it.
Yeah, it's already full item builds for both gold laners, for all damage dealers. I think Niall's just locking in his last, and he decides to switch it up and pick up a Winter Crown to complete his build. So there could be more creative angles from this point onwards.
Comes the Lord, charging into the mid turret. Fatal Links was already used too. They'll force it anyways. Utilizing Iron Good. Whoa! The damage from True Rippers. They're gonna chase down Niall. He's got an immortality, but he's trying to get away. Good use of the conceal, but that's so deep from Garcia will come through, and they still escape, only losing Amon in that fight. It's one base turret down, that mid one barely alive. They should be able to clear it out even with that charged up minion, but wow, we have to take a look at the replay.
That could have been the play of the game if only Garcia was able to find the kills. But looking at the replay right now, you have to respect the wave clear. You have to respect the damage that Garcia and Asuna are actually able to output at this point in time. The way that Vitality have actually somewhat lined up in that particular sequence really favored the damage dealers here from the side of True Rippers, and now they've completely turned things around. They're the ones who are approaching the base.
Oh, they go in. Fatal Links used. Mystic Gush already expended. Emon back for the fight. Kimmy's gone, and now they're going to get chased down in the mid lane. An arrow's going to land on Asuna. They're going to follow through as Asuna falls, but Garcia is unleashing once again. Comes through clutch for True Rippers to send Vitality back to the base.
The double marksman setup is still here.
Moreno.
Moreno, does he want to take that on?
No, Moreno, what are you doing? He went for it, and he gets punished anyway.
That was too late, game marksman. You were potentially going to go up against with the Abyssal Arrow nor the trap not landing. It was a very difficult. Moreno and Niall weren't really in accordance to what they wanted to do, and now we see Ian's falling just before the Lord.
Yep. That's a solo kill right there. As the hero, especially with the stacks, you can win that fight. Now this Lord and Evolved, mind you, will go over to Team Vitality because the jungler is not available for True Rippers.
So much has been happening here, but it's Team Vitality still being able to take this Lord freely from the hands of True Rippers. So they're just waiting, and they wanted to spawn at a certain moment in time here in this game. As they take away all the remaining buffs from True Rippers, Lians will take some time to get back in this game, but you're looking at an 80 stacks Sky Piercer. You just cannot allow yourself to get too low on HP at this point.
Yep, that's a big stacks right there for Niall, and this is what was starting to happen throughout the course of the game, and that's why he's such a threat, because not only do you do that much damage, even on these tankier heroes like this. Look at what's going on for Kimmy already. Immortality going to be popped. They're going to force the fight anyway. A Mystic Gush will come down. Shogun's going to be the trade to the 1-for-1. Re-engage, trying to fight this out. So great choice for True Rippers. Now they have to defend, though. They have to be able to go and defend this beefed up Lord. These waves all pushing in on all fronts.
Yeah.
Only 4 members left alive.
But at least True Rippers took down their main front line. At least Shogun's gone, but now...
Once again, Winter Crown going to be used. Can't withstand it. There's the kick. They're coming in to clean up. Lord's still up. They're going to work on the base here. All they have to do is lock it down. Team Vitality will take a little bit of their time, but they'll win the series in a sweep.